Howdy y'all, Caleb here. I wanted to go over what some of the best Seraphon lists are right now. Now, I know that there's going to be a Battle Scroll update sometime soon. Don't know exactly when. Hopefully it's not today when I put this video out. But I wanted to look back over the past month or so at what Seraphon lists are doing the best right now in the meta. So, I've got a Fangs of Sotek, a Dracothian's Tail, Koatl's Claw, and even a Thunder Lizard list to look at and see what's doing best out there in the meta. So, let's get started. The first one I want to look at is Fangs of Sotek list. This comes from Everwinter Grand Tournament. I think that was in Boston. Had 111 players at that one. So a really big tournament. And a lot of really good people were showing up at this tournament. So we're actually going to see quite a few lists from this tournament. And it's because we're seeing some of our better Seraphon players out there playing in this one. So first one here is the Fangs of Sotek list. Basil went 4-1 with his Fangs list. And we see Basil's a staple here in the Seraphon. The Seraphon game, he plays it a lot, and he does really well. So every time I'm looking up lists, I see his name pop up as somebody that's been doing well. So this list is fairly standard as far as like Fangs of Sotek go. Now Fangs of Sotek, you kind of get locked into what you're going to be doing. So we'll talk through that a little bit. If you need a really in-depth refresher on what Fangs of Sotek does, go look back at my how to play Starborn lists, Starborn video, and we go into that in great detail. But he's got his grand strategy of Spellcasting Savant. That's keep your general wizard alive, and that's going to be his Slán. Generally, that's going to happen in a Starborn list unless something catastrophic happens. Triumph is inspired, but he's got Leaders of Slán Starmaster with the Lord of Celestial Resonance command trait. So that way you're going to be generating extra summoning points, Celestial Conjuration points. Artifact of Power is Space Folder Stave, so you can drop things down a little bit closer to the opponent. And spells, we've got Comet's Call and Hoarfrost. So he's opted for an additional enhancement, and he went with Spell Enhancement. So you're going to see extra spells on his wizards here. We've got Lord Croak, Astrolith Bear, also pretty standard in these lists. A Skink Starseer with Merciless Blizzard and Speed of Huanchi. Merciless Blizzard gives that chance for a 4d6 mortal wounds, which is just incredible. A lot of times it's used defensively now, so as you're setting up your screens, as you're setting up your castle, if you have a Merciless Blizzard there, make sure things are in range so that if they do charge you on your turn, you can hit them with that Merciless Blizzard. Very dangerous. Speed of Huanche gives you a move in the hero phase. On the Star Priest, we've got Hoarfrost and Merciless Blizzard, so another option for the Merciless Blizzard. So we've got good buffs, we've got good defensive pieces, lots of spell casts to rack up those cosmic power points. As our battle line, we've got 2 units of Raptidon Chargers, some Skinks, and some Saurus Guard to help take care of Croak there. The one twist, and in most Fangs of Sotek lists, you got about 300 points to kind of play with in what you want to do to make that list kind of unique. And Basil's gone with a reinforced unit of Ripperdactyl Riders. Pretty awesome. I like them. They can throw out a lot of dice, and he does have some ways to buff them up here. One of my favorites is Speed of Huanche. You get that hero phase move for them, and they're already moving 12, so you've got some incredible range with these guys. That does give you a little bit of reach in a list that generally likes to castle and send out waves of screens. Some good endless spells here for Pendulum, Gravetide, and Maelstrom. All kind of have their own role. Maelstrom is just absolutely sick. Gravetide deals with your hordes, and Pendulum can hit that one specific target that needs some extra mortal wounds. So, a great list here for Basil. You see those Fangs of Sotek lists, when you get them in the hands of a good player, they are really, really dangerous. So that's our best Fangs of Sotek list from about the last month or so. Went 4-1 at a big tournament, so well done there. Our Dracothian's Tail list comes from Samuel. He's also a very good player. He usually does quite well with Seraphon. So we got a Dracothian's Tail list. We don't see Dracothian's Tail quite as much these days. Mostly it's in Fangs of Sotek, so I was excited to see somebody take Dracothian's Tail 4-1. And you can see this list is a little bit different than what you would see in a standard Starborn list. So that made me pretty excited to see this. Grand strategy is spellcasting Savant again, and that will be for our general, the Slann Starmaster. And the command trait is Shaman of the Chilled Lands. I think that allows you to reduce your drops by not having to go for an enhancement. And so Shaman of the Chilled Lands gives you access to all of the spells in the Antorian Locust spell lore, and the Horror Frost, the Merciless Blizzard, and the one for the Incarnate. Can't remember the name of it, but the Merciless Blizzard and Hoarfrost are the two that you really want. Artifact is Space Folder Stave, so that allows us to drop things down closer, 7 inches instead of 9, and that's big in Dracothian's Tail. You're going to end up using that a whole lot in Dracothian's Tail. He does have the spell Comet's Call on the Slann, so you do have access to Comet's Call, plus all of the other cool spells like Merciless Blizzard and Hoarfrost. Croak, of course, Astrolith Bear, Starseer with Speed of Huanche. And then our battle line, we've got 10 Warriors, 10 Skinks, 5 Source Guard, and here's where the list gets interesting. We have a reinforced unit of Aggrageddon Lancers and a reinforced unit of Ripperdactyl Riders. Ooh, this is fun. I would really like to see Samuel play in this because I think you have a lot of flexibility with how you end up deploying these units. Aggrageddons are just an incredible unit to come down out of reserves with, because you're dropping them down outside of 7 in Dracothian's Tail with the Space Folder Stave. And Aggrageddons have that +1 to charge on their War Scroll. This is a nasty unit that can get... it's going to make that charge. You're talking about a 6-inch charge, and you can re-roll it. This is a great unit to pull out of reserves and charge something important. If you don't want to do that, you've always got the Ripperdactyl Riders, which I think is a pretty good tactic. I talked about in the last list, where you can put Speed of Huanche on them and get them all the way across the board. They've got a big threat range there. So you could drop them out of reserves if you want to. I don't know exactly how he's playing that. Maybe it's based on the matchup. But Aggrageddons in reserve in Dracothian's Tail, I really, really like. That's a lot of fun. So well done, Samuel. Went 4-1 at Everwinter. That same big tournament. Had a great showing for Dracothian's Tail. But our best showing for Seraphon at the Everwinter Grand Tournament was Dean. Dean, we see his name a lot too. He's a great Seraphon player, and here he's taken a Koatl's Claw list to 5-0 at this tournament. Just incredible. Great job. So he's in Coalesced, which is the -1 damage, and he's in Koatl's Claw, which gives you +1 to wound when you charge with your Saurus or your monsters or Kroxigor. Actually, not monsters. Just Saurus or Kroxigor. It should be monsters, but it's not. All right, Grand Strategy, Continuous Expansion. I swear, I think Dean may be the only one that takes this, and I guess he's scoring it because he's winning all his games. So maybe we should all start taking Continuous Expansion. Continuous Expansion is Grand Strategy where you just need 1 Seraphon unit in each quarter of the board. So you need at least 4 units left alive at the end of the game. Generally, if you're winning your game, you're probably doing that. And then by turn 5, you just need to get your units lined up on the board. So, very doable. It always seems to me that obviously I'm not as good a player as Dean here, but every time I was getting out of turn 5, I was having to score objectives. I didn't have time to position my guys in all 4 quarters. So I think I need to play better, and then maybe I can get Continuous Expansion more often. We got a leader here, a Troglodyte, a Skinkorklon Troglodyte. Yes, I like that. I've been playing the Troglodyte more at home here. Haven't made him out to any tournaments with the Troglodyte, but I do like the Troglodyte in Koatl's Claw. Big aura of -1 to hit, and you apply that to all the other stuff that's making Koatl's Claw tough, and it's just a great debuff there. A tough monster that heals itself and has a little bit of utility because of its spells. Its War Scroll spell is incredible if you can actually get in range and somebody's close enough, you can really reduce their amount of movement. But the spell he's taking here is Heavenly Frenzy. That allows us to run and charge. A great spell for Koatl's Claw. And you're going to be wanting to put that on some of these Aggrageddon Lancers that you're seeing down here in the list. Our general is going to be a Scar Veteran on Aggrageddon. with Vengeful Defender and Sotek's Gaze. So Aggrageddon allows us to give +1 to attacks for the Aggrageddon mounts. It's a nice buff. It's not just out of this world, but it will give you a little bit of extra damage from your big battle line units if you get them both into combat, and you can pop this. It's great. Vengeful Defender allows you that double move in the hero phase. We did a whole video on that. Lots of fun stuff you can do there. Artifact Sotek's Gaze allows you to prevent smaller units from capturing objectives near you. So a very good strategy when employed correctly. You can really shut down the opponent as they're trying to score objectives. We've got another Skink Starseer here in this list with Hoarfrost. That allows us to buff up our units with Hoarfrost really well. And Starseer, don't forget about his ability to give something a 5-up ward for a turn. It's very good, especially if you're looking at possibly being double turned. Pop that thing and it makes the opponent a lot less effective on their double turn. We do have 12 Aggrageddons here in this list. Very nice. I love Aggrageddons right now. They're just so much fun. Take buffs well and can do an incredible amount of damage. So very good. 10 Source Warriors, 5 Source Guard. The 5 Source Guard may be curious how Dean's playing it with these guard. I'm assuming he's protecting the Aggrageddon. Maybe the Starseer turn 1, but maybe the Aggrageddon, as the Aggrageddon's pushing up to take objectives using Sotek's Gaze. Maybe the guard are taking wounds off that Aggrageddon. Makes them quite a bit tougher to kill. So an interesting strategy I don't think I've seen much of. So I like that. We got a Stegodon as our behemoth, and then 5 Hunters of Huanche with Starstone Bolas. Both of those allow you to do some good utility, where the Stegodon will allow you to capture objectives because it counts as 10, and that's one of our battle tactics, is score an objective with just a skink unit. And so the Stegodon counts, so do the Hunters of Huanche. So both of those are good utility pieces there. And the Stegodon is kind of just good all around. Not great, but it has enough utility that it makes it into a lot of lists because it has some shooting. It has okay melee, not great. It's tough, but not great, but it's decently tough. And can play a role towards our battle tactics. So Stegodon is a nice pick. So that was well done with Dean. 5-0 at a big tournament like this. Just incredible with Koatl's Claw. Beating out the other two guys that were taking the meta Starborn picks, showing them that Koatl's Claws got some juice. Well done. Let's see. Next up, I had to give some honorable mention here for a Koatl's Claw list. James has been really grinding the Koatl's Claw list, and he's gone heavy on the Aggrageddon. So I wanted to point out this because he's gotten in a lot of tournaments. Usually goes 3-2 with this. So if you're looking for a really fun list, this is probably what you're looking for. He's got 18 Aggrageddons in this list. He's been running a couple different variations of this. Usually goes about 3-2. This one has an extra Stegodon in there, a Carnosaur to help bring some big monsters to the table. But he's been having a lot of fun with the Aggrageddons, and that's my Koatl's Claw honorable mention. I like the Aggrageddon list there. All right, Thunder Lizard. Thunder Lizard's in a little bit of a unique place here because I didn't really see anybody doing well in any 5-game tournaments like a big GT. In fact, I can't even remember if I saw anybody that had taken it to a 5-game GT. But these were the best results I found. They were smaller tournaments. I've got 2 listed here just because I like Thunder Lizard. Both of them were pretty small tournaments, 3 games, but they went 2-1. So great job with Thunder Lizard. Definitely not a top competitive sub-faction that we've got, but it is a lot of fun. So this one's Alex. He was playing at the Drop Zone AOS Winter Bash. 12 players, 3 rounds, and he's taking Thunder Lizard. His grand strategy is Overshadow, Triumph Inspired. He has a Carnosaur, a Troglodon, 3 Stegodons, and 2 Bastiladons. So we are definitely going monster heavy. The only thing that's not a monster is that Starseer. So this is awesome. I love it when you can squeeze in this many monsters here. What is that? 7 monsters into a list. Just absolutely fantastic. Lots of fun. The Carnosaur has the thickly scaled hide for that +1 to save rolls. Makes him quite a bit tougher. The 3-up save on a Carnosaur, that's what he should be. We finally got the extra rend on the jaws, but they didn't give us the 3-up save. So that is one way to get it. Blade of Realities just makes him have a little bit more rend and extra damage versus heroes. So it helps out the Carnosaur become a little bit punchier. Troglodon has Light of Sotek, which I think is a nice pick. He's got Heavenly Frenzy down on the Starseer, so I wanted to see Heavenly Frenzy somewhere in this list. But on the Troglodon, he took Light of Sotek, which really just lets you heal up your monsters better. So you're rolling dice for however many wounds you've taken on one of the monsters, and you'll be able to heal stuff up. So Troglodon already heals in the hero phase. This is another way that you can get some extra heals, either on the Troglodon or one of the other monsters. So a nice little support spell that I like on the Troglodon. Starseer has that Heavenly Frenzy, which is run and charge. Very useful for the, Stegodons. Probably is what you would use this on. I don't think you're not running and charging with a Basil with Solar Engine. You're probably not running and charging with your General right off the bat, but maybe you're shooting in a Stegodon to cause some problems on turn 1. If you do that, you still got, like 2 Stegodons to stick around with one of your monster heroes and 2 Bastiladons to stick around with one of them. Always keep in mind your source Old Blood on Carnosaur can issue the same command twice. So that really helps with like the Bastiladons or the Stegodons if you're sending them in to be able to buff up both of them at the same time. Starseer really helps you turn off some wards if you get a chance to do that. It's such short range, and without the Astrolith, you might struggle a little bit though. But overall, a very fun list. I like that. He's only taken 8 models to a tournament, and definitely going for having fun. But went 2-1. One more games than he lost. So great job, Alex. The last one here is another Thunder Lizard list, and we got David playing at Warp Storm. 3 games, 11 players. And he's taking a Thunder Lizard list, also with Overshadow for Grand Strategy. That's, keep your battle line alive while killing theirs. Got a Troglodon with Heavenly Frenzy, so something can run and charge. We got the Old Blood as our General with Thickly Scaled Hide and Blade of Realities. You kind of see that's a good loadout there for this guy in a Thunder Lizard list. And then a Star Priest with Horror Frost. So Horror Frost and a Thunder Lizard list. What are we buffing up? Well, probably the Aggrageddons down there. He does have 6 Aggrageddons in this list, which I think is pretty interesting. But maybe after you've buffed them up, you could still throw Horror Frost on a Stegodon. Maybe on the Ark of Sotek Bastiladon, so it has some good rend. But an interesting pick there. We do have 3 Stegodon battle lines, 6 Aggrageddons, which I'd like to see. I think they're useful enough that you can throw 6 Aggrageddons into just about any Seraphon list, and they're going to pull their weight. Thunder Lizard list, it gives you a few bodies, a few wounds, and then quite a few dice to throw in a melee attack. We do have 1 Bastiladon with Ark of Sotek, just a little tough little monster there to help fill out the battle regiment. And 2,000 points on the dot, 118 wounds, which isn't too bad for a Thunder Lizard list. So, well done, David. What's he? Heavenly Frenzy, probably the Aggrageddons. That allows you to get out of the way of Vengeful Defender, since you don't have Vengeful Defender in this list. Maybe your Heavenly Frenzy and your Aggrageddon Lancers to run them up the board. Maybe a Stegodon or something. But you got a few buffs you can put on those Lancers, so I like it. Great job. You guys taking Thunder Lizards or heroes to me, because Thunder Lizard's not in the best place right now. So if you can win more than you lose with Thunder Lizard, you're doing great. So, all right, I think that's all I got for today. I think our hero of the last month here is going to be Dean with 5-0 with Koatl's Claw. Well done, and we'll see you guys on the next time. Oh man, let's hope the battle scroll doesn't kill Starborn or nerf Koatl's Claw or something. I have no idea. It always makes me nervous when they're going to release points. What's going to get ruined, nerfed, buffed? We'll see. See you guys later.